What's up, everyone? This will be a very raw, candid video to kick off 2018. And the first one, it's Saturday the 6th, and I'm here at the office in the boardroom. I know there's paperwork everywhere. If you guys could actually see the whole office, it's a complete disaster. But today, I will probably only take about like 10 minutes, and I'm just going to talk about some of the learning lessons from 2017, what my focuses were, and some of the amazing things that happened in 2017. I'd say all in all, it was the biggest year of growth for our company. We had massive changes in almost every single department. And personally, I think there was also some huge growth for our management team. I couldn't be more excited about it, though. We traveled to so many different amazing places in the world and transformed the company into something that I never had more than a 1 or a 2 year plan ahead of me, but now I can very clearly see what 5 years ahead looks like. So, just a quick recap of 2017. My theme of 2017 was really continue saying yes to almost everything, and unless it was an absolute no or something didn't jive with me, I basically said yes to as many opportunities as I could physically handle and had the capacity for. Along with that, something that was really apparent to me and that I realized very quickly early on in January was that focus got shifted kind of into like a EQ, emotional intelligence growth year. And I learned so many things from really diving into this area of my life. It was challenging, to say the very least, and I learned a lot of good things. So a mentor of mine always told me to start with the bad news first. So some of the bad news that came from having a full year of focus on emotional intelligence was, I don't want to say I lost friends. I changed who my circle was, and that's not an easy thing to do. So I'd say if you were to rewind to the very beginning of 2017, I can probably actively right now envision about 10, probably 15 people that I no longer talk to. I haven't texted them, called them, emailed them, or had any communication in whether it's 30, 60, 365 days. And that was a personal decision of mine. I decided to make my circle a lot smaller. And the reasoning behind that was I really started to dive into what my values were, what my goals were, and it's very true, the 5 people that you surround yourself with are who you're going to become. That's such a critical thing to keep in mind, who your closest circle is. And I have a very good sounding board at this time in my life, and it was very hard. I probably burnt some bridges, and that was my fault. And it's not fun to think about those things. It was super challenging. People that I really, really care about are no longer in my life. And, it comes with the territory. As you grow up and mature, things like that are always going to happen. I wish they didn't. I wish the best for everyone. But, that was one thing that was really challenging when you dive in, because you have to be selfish. To be the best you, it's absolutely necessary. The second thing throughout 2017 that was really challenging was we had a few people quit, and I fired a few people along the way as well. And that was 100% my fault. And, I did things that were learning experiences, growing experiences, and being in the position that I am of, being a CEO of a growing company. You have to make changes, and I learned a lot along the way, especially with hiring. And hire slow, fire fast is a real thing. There were a few scenarios there where I waited way too long and I hired people way too fast. So that was a really challenging part of the year. I also just made stupid CEO mistakes that I've reflected on, and I absolutely will not make them again. But as a first-time CEO, these things are going to happen, and it's really hard. So that was the second thing. I'd say the third thing was I didn't spend enough time with my family. I was extremely selfish last year. I lived in Boulder for about 4.5 months. I went through a fundraising experiment for the company, and that took about 2.5, 3 months. And then I spent 4 months in due diligence, so I was head down a lot of the year, really focused on business, and I didn't feel like I saw my family enough. So that's something moving forward. Now, let's move on to the good stuff so that we can actually smile and talk about what was super amazing about 2018. Dad and I went through Techstars. I got to live in Boulder, Colorado for 4 months, and I met spectacular humans from all over the world who are now considered friends, colleagues, advisors, just to name a few. Oh, there's so many. I don't want to forget anyone, but some that really stand out to me, 100%. Natty Zola was our director at Techstars. He's now on the board of Data Nerds, which I'm very excited about. Raul from Spain works at Join Monday. His co-founder, Evan Walden, two spectacular, phenomenal, unbelievable human beings. Tehran, guy's crazy, Armenian, amazing human as well. Julie Penner, Zach Nyes, Scott Caruso, Ari Kaufman. This list, it goes on for days and days. You know, we had the opportunity to just meet so many cool people throughout that span of time. Also the relationship with Cole and Sonia Hatter, I'd say, flourished throughout this year and throughout the Thrive Tribe. I really appreciate everything that they've opened me up to in this world, and you know, being able to give back and seeing how that impacts other people changed my life forever. There's so many amazing people in that world. So we completed Techstars. We did the demo day. We decided to take on venture capital, which was an amazing transition for a company. For those of you who know anything about Data Nerds, we are very much a bootstrapped marketing agency that found a couple products that did really well, primarily in the real estate market, and we became extremely focused on that market. And we really did kind of find our groove, and we started to scale and learned that it is an extremely competitive market, not so much in Kelowna, British Columbia, because it's a lifestyle town here, but I learned a lot throughout that transition, and so I'm so excited to announce, I'll probably make a completely separate video about this, maybe wearing something nicer, but we raised $3 million from Foundry Group, Techstars Ventures. So Foundry Group's Brad Feld, Jason Mendelson, Seth and Ryan, and then Techstars Ventures is David Cohen and David Brown and a few other people involved in that. V1 VC, which is a cool firm as well in Colorado, and Next Big Sound, Alex White. Next Big Ventures, Alex White and Samir, they have been so helpful this year. But $3 million USD, $15 million USD valuation. You can go and read it on the internet in different places. And whoa, that's a huge accomplishment. A year ago, I would have told you were crazy if you said that I was going to raise venture capital. So super excited about that. Personally, leveled up on so many different levels. I had some amazing coaches from Phil, Scott, Jason over at Straw House, Zach Nyes, Natty, Raul dove in with me on so many different areas of my life that, I'm a male. I don't often like to express how I feel, and I have an exceptional talent for compartmentalizing things, pushing them down and letting them go. Lisa also helped me, discover that. And Evan. So there's, and that's I was having dinner with someone recently, Maley, she's fantastic as well, but she also said that sometimes that can be an asset. And I actually stopped believing that for a little while. And I think going back throughout the year, a huge takeaway for me in that leveling up was actually just realizing, I'm sure many people know this, but I had no idea, and I'm 28 years old now, that this is crazy. You kind of have like a physical and emotional energy tank, and I didn't realize why my physical tank was so drained all year. So, I work fairly hard. I'm definitely an 80+ hour a week person, and I work out, at least 5 or 6 days a week for an hour or two. So I don't feel like it's an abnormal lifestyle, but I was exhausted this entire year because I realized that I'd been tapping into my emotional energy tank almost every single week in something that I wasn't comfortable with, unexperienced, and it scared me. So, I had really hard conversations. I brought up points that, had bothered me for a long, long time, and I dove into them and I dwelled with them to actually accept them. And it was so challenging. It takes so much energy. I probably won't be doing that as much throughout 2018 because my focus this year is strictly business. And it was an amazing learning experience. I am way better at listening. I'm way better listening to myself as well and understanding how I feel about specific situations and voicing my concern. I've never been one to hold back either way, but now I have no fear of it. And I think it will add a lot of value not only to my own life, but to the relationships that I have in the future. So that was great. Another great thing is I easily read 50 books throughout 2017. Actually, I probably read, I think I counted like a little over 40, and I listened to at least 25. And then I used InstaRead and Hardbound and a couple other apps to digest more of that. I also meditated for probably at least 250 days is what I was able to track. And I traveled all around the world. So we went to Japan, we were in Boulder, San Francisco, down to Mexico a couple times, the Dominican Republic, obviously out east, New York, Toronto, Seattle. That's kind of all over the place. But so those were some of the big takeaways from 2017, and I'm so excited to be able to show the journey this year. These are going to be unedited. I don't have time. I apologize. One day they'll be great, but I don't have time to be doing this, but I want to document the journey that is going from working in my 1-bedroom apartment that my aunt and uncle graciously let me stay in for 6 months in Kelowna 3 years ago to now running a 8-figure venture capital backed business. That's pretty crazy to think about. So with that being said, I've had a few different goals for 2018, and I'm very focused on business and finance throughout the year. When I talk about business, not only is that growing a Series A company of 20 to 50 people, we plan to be around 30-ish by the end of the year, and scaling our revenue from about $5 million a year to hopefully 6 to 8. Another goal of mine is to eat more vegan meals, and I will never shovel again. So I live in Kelowna. This year has been crazy with how much snow we've gone. It's like records in hundreds of years, and I don't enjoy it. It doesn't make me happy. So I might hire someone, or I think next year, actually my goal is to be living somewhere warm that I don't have to ever worry about this again, and hopefully have a full team around me. So wish me luck. Please subscribe. Stay with me for once a week. I'll post probably on Mondays or Tuesdays after I add a Dad Nerds logo and a subscribe page to this. But thank you. You can also check out Instagram, Snapchat, the Data Nerd stuff, anything about our companies or our brands, and I appreciate it. Thank you. I hope you all have killer 2018s. Please share with me what you guys are up to, what your takeaways were from 2017, and go kick some ass. I'm ready for this.